Greetings, everyone. We're going to start now. It's 12:02, and we do have a fair number of people on the line here. So we'll begin the presentation, and others can join as they appear. So this is a webinar being handled as a webinar rather than a Zoom meeting. So thank you so much for joining us today for this webinar on navigating virtual meeting platforms that that the All Good Work Foundation had reached out to the Silicon Valley organization, SVO, and thanks to Monique New, who introduced us to Julie Pillai, the owner and principal of Veltec Networks, who is a longstanding expert in the IT sector. And so he so kindly has offered his time today to share with nonprofits and small businesses in the Silicon Valley area, and also potentially some from New York who may be joining us from the All Good Work Foundation on the East Coast. And we are so thrilled that you could be here today to learn from him as he takes us through a general overview and navigation of different collaborative and virtual meeting platforms, because we're all using so many of these different tools lately. And we wanted to give people an opportunity to kind of just have a sense of what the differences, what the bells and whistles are, and what makes them unique and particularly valuable to you as tools as you prepare for this post-COVID world where a lot of work is now being done strictly online, and in-person meetings are becoming much more minimal. So I will now turn it over to Duleep, who will give us some the response to the poll he just put out there for you all, and take on the program to discuss these different platforms.
Thank you, Amy. Hi, everyone. My name is Duleep Pillai, and I'm the Chief Business Officer here at Veltec. I have now ended the poll, and it's a pretty good number that it says that 92% of you guys are using Zoom, and Google has 17% with the second place, and the other platforms there are quite a few other users as well. So thank you very much for attending the poll. And in the wake of COVID-19 outbreak across the globe, many governments have instituted quarantines, lockdowns, and shelter-in-place orders since last month. Many employees have allowed employees to work from home even before that, and personal interaction between employees and businesses or business and customers have become a challenge in this situation. This means the use of video apps and services have surged as many people are now working from home, and in-person interactions have gone almost digital. In fact, video apps have been popular with many governments and private employees for years, as their workforces were distributed all over the place, across the states or across the cities, or even across the globe. So while many options are available, if you're looking to do a meeting with coworkers or a presentation to a prospect from a business perspective, what I'm trying to do here is, there are a few popular choices as you have seen in the poll. I'm trying to give an overview of them, and it's definitely a 50,000 foot overview because the 1 hour is not sufficient for accommodating going into nitty-gritty details of each platform. That's the reason why I'm going with that. So I'm going to do a small presentation here now. So I'm going to share my screen.
And just so you all know, all the participants in the program, if you do have Q&A, please put it into the chat box. I'll be monitoring that throughout the meeting, and we will take your questions as they come up, throughout the meeting. We won't hold them all till the end because it might get a little bit too complicated to do it that way. So if something really is, you want clarification on something that Duleep is sharing, on a particular product that he's going over, platform, please do chat into the chat box. Chat box, definitely do the chat box.
So today's agenda we are going to do here is an introduction of all the tools available for nonprofits for collaborating, virtual meetings, and webinars. So we are going to go over the basic platforms, as I mentioned in the poll, which are Teams, Google Hangouts, or now it's called Google Meet, GoToMeeting, WebEx, and Zoom. What we are going to do today is how to set up a meeting and some tips and tricks. And especially with Zoom being very popular, as I see here, there are recently Zoom was in the news. And because of that, I am trying to cover a little bit of security features, how we can improve the meeting and how we can prevent from what is called Zoom bombing from happening. So this is an interactive session, as Amy just mentioned, and please feel to jump in at any time. So in any kind of meetings, there are three important roles. One is setting up the meeting, and the second one is manage the meeting, and third is attending or participants. So the organizer is the scheduler who is scheduling the meeting, and his function is to invite the attendees and start the meeting and manage the meeting. A presenter speak at the meeting, as I'm doing right now, and share the screen, can take controls. If I'm sharing it with somebody else, I can take control, and managed by the organizer. And sometimes both functions can be on the same person. An attendee at the same time can be somebody who is attending, who can be invited to speak. They can chat with the organizer and other attendees as well, and maybe given some screen sharing function, can use but not allowed to control. So let's take a quick look at Microsoft Teams. As I mentioned, it's a 50,000 feet overview. And if you're a Microsoft Office 365 user, it was called Office 365 till yesterday. As of today, it is renamed as Microsoft 365. A platform is for chat, collaborate, and work on documents, a video conferencing, audio, phone calls. The functionality came from Skype. They are slowly removing Skype from the equation. They are making all the phone calls over Teams right now. If you're an Office 365 or Microsoft 365 subscriber, business basic, or even a standard subscription, you can download a free version of Teams. In March, Microsoft announced they are going to temporarily remove the limitation of the licenses or how many people can be used for helping businesses till the end of September. And for nonprofits, Microsoft is a major supporter of nonprofit. As you can see, many of the licenses can be purchased through TechSoup, and it includes 10 free Microsoft 365 licenses, and they have provided some Azure cloud credits as well, and additional discounts for cloud services as Office 365 and Surface hardware. They host a lot of training programs to help nonprofit effectively use the tools. So let's take a quick look at how to set up an Office 3 or Microsoft Teams. If you download the software, you can install it on a PC or a Mac, and you can sign up for that. And once you sign up, you can sign in, where you get a piece of software installed on your computer. So I'm going to slowly demo how it can be done. And you log in with your email, which is, if it is already on a Microsoft email, it is very smooth, very well integrated with Office 365. You can have your Outlook email, calendar, all these things integrated directly on Teams. And you can also invite your people within the organization to join the teams so that it is under under a single umbrella where you can have all of them as a part of the teams. So I'm going to demo a bit, and I am going to switch over my computer to a different one, and I will be demoing it from there. I'm not going anywhere, right here. I hope you can see the Teams screen right now. This is a basic installed. I just installed it a brand new screen for Teams for this purpose only, and it has a Teams which I created as a which is created as Veltec. You can always add your own teams on this, and there are different channels. Once you add a Teams or your team is installed, you can create your different channels. One of the channels which I have installed here is a demo. And here, what you can do is you can just post the messages. You can share the files with your team. There are a couple of files which I have added. You can edit that directly from this, from Teams, without opening an Excel or a Word file. You can change it whatever here. And once you close that, it is available for all people in your team. And this can use to, you can upload or download the file onto your desktop as well. So how to make use of all the functionality? As I mentioned, it is going to be a little time consuming to go for all the settings. So let me just go over the basic settings which I can make use of here. So the status it shows as available, you can change it to busy or do not disturb. So for example, if you change it to do not disturb, your settings will be showing here as do not disturb, so that other people will not be sending you messages at that time, or they know that you are already engaged in something else. And you can change the status message if you want to let others know that, okay, I am in a meeting. You can edit that here. And you can make a call right from a video call right from here, which is a meet now. Just click on that, the camera will be activated, and then you can have a chat, a video chat with somebody in your team. One of the recent changes which Microsoft has done was, earlier this was allowing only 4 tiles at a time, and now they have changed it to allow up to 9. And as a matter of fact, the change came only today's update. So there are various chat function. You can create a chat right here. If you type, starting with, if it is integrated directly with your Office 365 account, you can directly enter your name or email of the person whom you want to chat with, directly enter it, and you can start the chat. And all different functionalities nowadays people normally use, GIFs, emojis, all that are available here. If you want to add more, say, voice calls, a phone call which you need to make outside, you need to integrate with Microsoft Voice Plan, and you can make a phone call directly from here. So because of the time, I'm going to stop it right there. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So next one I am going to demo is so next one I am going to demo is our Google Hangouts. Hangouts is a customized or Google's version of a collaboration platform which has integrated with video calls, phone calls, and even chat messages, as you have seen in the Teams version. So again, with COVID-19, Microsoft, just like Microsoft, Google also made some improvements into the platform. Google Hangouts used to be a consumer-only product, and now they have integrated with the business platform, where it is called Google Meet. So the video call, which is another software, which is the platform which is called Google Meet. That's what is the video call is. If you click on the video here, it is going to spawn the Google Meet app. And a phone call is just like what you have seen for Teams. It is going to be showing a Google Voice will be the phone provider for this, and messages is again Google Chat. So if again the setting is going to be pretty similar, it is going to be here, which is the settings. You can change all the settings. Show when you want to be active. If you want a sound for incoming messages, you can choose this. And the same functionality is available here as well. So manage your Google account is here. It is going to be the pretty much the Google functionality of integrating everything, and you work this with your Google Docs or Google spreadsheets or Google presentation. You can integrate it all with that, and it directly integrates with all these Google platforms. One of the problems with Google Hangout was it was having only very limited number of, as I mentioned in Teams case, very limited number of chat faces or chat you can see, the video feeds you could see. They are also making improvements on that. Now it is available up to 16 video calls, video displays simultaneously on the screen. It is not rolled out yet. It is coming soon. And again, it is on the Gmail platform. You can see the Hangouts. You are going to have another icon soon here, which is Google Video Chat, which is going to be the Google Meet. So how to set up a classroom in this with Google platform? There are going to be some additions which the improvements you can make with Google, and that is going to be a Google Classroom where you can set up a class and integrate that. As I have mentioned before, it is directly integrated with your Google Hangouts. So add a classroom here. This is something which I have set up as a demo, and this is, you can communicate with the class here, create and schedule your announcements, and students can post and respond to that. And this is this is something which teachers can potentially use for setting up the classes. Google also provides something equivalent to a whiteboard. This is called Jamboard. Jamboard is, again, a white collaboration platform, which I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to start a new Jamboard here by clicking the plus sign. So this, I can draw something, write something, and I can demo something to the other participants. So I'm seeing some, okay, I have some questions here. Is there an additional cost for Google Meet? So if you're using Google G Suite as your platform, there is no additional cost for Google Meet, and that is part of the integrated platform. So is there an additional cost for video with Microsoft Teams? No, it is again part of the same package, which is integrated. What is the maximum number of users for MS Team and Google Meet? So Microsoft Team is, I think it is 250 users. And for webinars or the live events, it is 10,000 users. Google Meet is 25 users per video screen, and you can go up to the number of participants is 25, and you can go up to 10,000 for the broadcast events, live events, which in a view-only mode. People cannot be seeing each other, but they can be in a view-only mode. So these were the three questions which came in. So I am next going into the next platform, which is GoToMeeting. GoToMeeting is another popular platform which used to be owned by Citrix, and now it is owned by a company called LogMeIn. And again, these are pure, they are not collaboration platforms as Google or Teams. These are platforms for meetings, video meetings, and webinars. So in this case, you again have to download the you can go to GoToMeeting, sign up a free 15-day trial, and or pay for that and make it your permanent platform. Here in the settings, again, you sign up. I signed it up for this demo purpose, and I signed up as a demo user, which is available for 15 days. So this is what the settings are. Again, you can set the audio and video controls from the settings, and at the same time, you can have an installable app as well. So here you can click on that. It will be sitting in the system tray. You can click on that and meet now, which again, just like meeting in the other platforms, immediately set up a meet with somebody whom you want to talk to or video conference in, and that is where Meet now comes handy. So the Preferences tab, you can set up all the securities, and it can be set to automatically start when I log into Windows, or you can set it to manual. All these are self-explanatory, and the webcam right now you can see me. I am on the other webcam right now. You can set up the high def webcam or a low def. The tip is, if you are using a high bandwidth connection, high def is probably okay, but it will always be helpful if you are broadcasting live. It is always okay to be, or rather good to be having as a low resolution or standard definition web video. Audio is again the same. Microsoft, just like Microsoft Teams, this has its own audio setup. This computer is having a standard video audio speaker as well as microphone. I'm making use of that at this time. So they also offer some sort of free product training. You can make use of that. And at the end of the slide deck, I have put in some information where you can make use of all the trainings which are available.
Dilip, we have another question about the cost of GoToMeeting and WebEx. What is the cost of that?
All right, let me share that screen for 1 second. I will bring it up. So GoToMeeting are having different, products. Again, they have a standard and an advanced, which is GoToWebinar, that is their webinar platform, and GoToRoom, which is created as a video conferencing setup where all of different groups of people can participate in different locations, just like Zoom Room. Probably you're familiar with that. The price range from $15 all the way to $100 for different type of packages for GoToMeeting as well.
There are no other questions. No other questions at this time.
All right. So these platforms, pretty much, they are all in the same price range, whether it is GoToMeeting or Zoom or WebEx, they are pretty much in the same price range. So you can choose whichever one ideally you want, but the features and flexibility or ease of use is the criteria mostly people look for. So I'm going to do the next piece of software which I wanted to present, which is Cisco WebEx. So Cisco WebEx is one of the pioneers in this field. The WebEx probably is the one which initially made the video conferencing really useful and user-friendly. And there was a time when I remember all the video conferencing was named as WebEx. Okay, when are we going to do a WebEx instead of video conferencing? That's what people used to say. So WebEx is again has pretty much the same features. They have they have a personal room where you can set up a personal room for meeting, and you can start with a desktop app or use the web app. You can do either one of that. And there are choices how to set up. You can integrate it with your Google account to log in, or even Facebook. A personal room you can set up, and this personal room can be used for hosting your meetings. Audio and video, again, as I mentioned in the GoToMeeting, they're pretty much very similar, all the functionalities. The quality of video and audio are comparable to each other, and they are pretty much same in all these aspects. So if WebEx also has a local installable app, as you have seen here, people who use WebEx like it because over a period of time, this has evolved a lot, and this is a real, pioneer in that field. And last, I want to touch a bit on the how to set up a secure WebEx. Okay. So I'm going to start a WebEx meeting on the app. So this is the WebEx app, which, as you can see, it is pretty much have the same functionality as any other GoToMeeting or Teams. You can start a meeting or schedule a meeting here. When you start a meeting, it is okay. So you have the video as well as audio, which are in mute. You can start the meeting and use the video system if you want, pretty much from here. So I'm right now appearing on the WebEx camera. Let me close that. I hope you can see my screen right now. So again, back to the recording piece. The free version of WebEx, actually, they also made some changes recently for COVID-19, and they extended the 40-minute free time limit to unlimited till June, I believe, and you can have uh, instead of 40 minutes limited time for Zoom as well as WebEx, you can have unlimited time right now. So if there are no other questions on this, I would like to jump over to Zoom at this time.
There are a few questions that came in, but probably we'll wait till the end at the moment because I think they're broader questions, and one is about Zoom actually. So we'll wait till you do the Zoom demo.
Okay, all right. So again, Zoom, as I mentioned before, it is one of the most popular platform right now, and almost everybody in this call are using Zoom. Zoom has a very good majority, so I thought I will spend some time on this. So platform-wise, Zoom has a lot of features which has high definition video. These are the ones. Zoom is the one who started probably high def video, and one of the most attractive points about Zoom is the ease of use. Here, if you look at the options, once you sign up for Zoom, you can, with just one click, you can join a meeting or start a meeting. And one of the recent questions or reliability of Zoom was about the security of the meetings. So how can you make a Zoom a secure platform? So when you set up a meeting, you can start once you sign into the web platform, you can start here as a schedule a new meeting or start a new meeting. If you click on that, it will show you how to set up a meeting. And at the same time, you can see the options for the video, whether it is turned to be on or off for host and participants. Normally, I like the host to be on and participants off. And once they sign in, then I verify the people whom, is it the same person whom I was expecting, then only I will allow them. And meeting options, if you enable to join before the host, people can come in, and if they know each other, they can chat without the host being present. And this option mute participants upon entry so that they won't be able to talk to each other. One of the features I always like to have is the enable waiting room. By default, it used to be off in the past, and last week they changed it to on. So there is a waiting room, and people will be allowed into the actual conference only after verified by the organizer. So this is by default, it is on right now. And same with the meeting password. Password, it was in the past, it was password as optional. Now it is mandatory for all new meetings. So without a meeting password, people could just get the URL and log into a Zoom meeting without the organizer or the other participants know. And that is how the Zoom bombing was happening. People used to post or share screens and make noise, which was undesirable. I know many of you have seen this. So to avoid that, always make sure that you have a meeting password set up and enable waiting rooms.
Dilip, do you
Yes.
want to talk for a second about if I have seen this, so it may be a useful thing. If somebody is actually Zoom bombed during a meeting and they need to halt it, what do they do? So, like once the meeting is live and all of a sudden the Zoom bomb's right there in front of you, how do you get rid of it?
So you can identify the user and block that user. Pretty much that's what you can do. So if on the Zoom app, or I'm trying to get that app here. Sorry, since I'm running 2 instances of Zoom, I'm unable to do that right now. But on the right-hand side, on the host, the attendees panel, what you can do is you can right-click and remove the user from that particular panel, particular discussion. That's the best you can do at this time. And always, that's the reason why I was advocating about setting up a waiting room and password. And if 2 people are joining with the same username, it may be difficult to identify who is the real one. That's why give them password separately so that they can enter the password and join the meeting.
So another question we had about Zoom is, how do you show a video on the Zoom screen?
Good point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the screen, and so on. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, I am not able to show the Zoom screen because I am already sharing on that. So that's the way we can do is, I would say that, okay, once you start the Zoom app, there is a video option on the, when you start the meeting, you can always start with the video option. And that is where you start the video call. Just like I can show it in the WebEx app, it is pretty much the same, and that will be helpful in understanding that. So here, if you're starting a meeting here, pretty much you start the meeting, and that is where you will be using, you'll pretty much use the same in Zoom as well. I'm sorry about that. It is unfortunately, since I'm running it on Zoom, I am unable to show it live on the Zoom app. But I will definitely send out a screenshot of how to start the meeting in the presentation, which I'm going to send it out.
Also, I guess, for example, if somebody, I guess, wanted to share like a YouTube video on Zoom or something like that, they could do a screen share perhaps and go to the link of that video of so-and-so singing or whatever it might be, and they can literally play that video, correct, while sharing their screen.
Yes, they can play the video, and they can definitely use that particular audio stream which is coming in from the particular playing computer, which can be broadcast to all the users.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure who asked that question. It says anonymous attendee, but if I hope this answered your question, and if you still have more, please feel to write more. The other question was, can people use, people without 365, Microsoft 365, use MS Team? And which product is best suited to stream an MP4 video?
So Microsoft recently opened Teams for non-365 users on a trial basis. They are giving a 6-month free uh, option for using it as on a trial. And that's how many people have signed up. The only catch is it is not Office 365 and you have very limited functionality, which definitely can be used for collaboration, but you are not getting all the functionality of Office 365. And to best suited for stream MP4 videos. Again, if you want to just stream an MP4 video, which is going to be on the internet, I would definitely say that it is going to be Google, and that is where the best platform for streaming videos are going to be. Talking about security features on Zoom, they also made a change. If you are a paid subscriber, not a free one, if you're a paid subscriber, you can choose the data centers to which the data can be stored. If you don't want Chinese data centers to be used, you can restrict that. You can limit that to US data centers only.
And is there one tool that has the best security overall of the ones that we've gone through, would you say?
So, as I mentioned earlier, Zoom had a lot of popularity in the recent past since March, and all of a sudden people were coming out and finding out flaws with the implementation. And there were many, they were pretty quick in turning it around and coming up with a fix as soon as possible. And one of the initial fixes was they wanted to make sure that everybody is using the waiting room as well as the passwords. And if you enable these, this is pretty much a good first step to start with. And one of the later concern was people were uh, people were worried about the data being stored in China, and they found a way, they are implementing a way how to uncheck the box. It's basically selecting the data centers, whichever one you want to keep your data, and that is where you can keep your data.
Mm-hmm.
And there is another question, can you live stream a recorded video? So I am not understanding the question clearly, but I understand that you want to have a recorded video to be streamed over any of these platforms. If that is, it is available on Teams as well as other platforms, even on Google. You can live stream, and if you want to stream a Google conference or Google session, you can live stream it onto YouTube. You need to have a YouTube account set up, and you can directly stream onto that for others, for viewers only. And pretty much with Zoom, you can stream it to YouTube or Facebook Live.
And in terms of the new Zoom app opportunity to choose what data centers you want.
Correct.
Yvonne is asking, how do you find that option? Is it in the settings?
Unfortunately, it's not available yet. It's coming out this week.
Okay.
I was hoping that it would be available today, but it was not there when I checked this morning.
But it would probably be in settings or something like that?
Yes, they announced it, and it is going to come out pretty much anytime now. Last week, they made the announcement.
Great. So I guess, are there any other questions? Anybody else have any other burning questions that they haven't gotten answered yet? If not, maybe we'll sort of kind of go over a summary maybe of the overall discussion then.
Yes.
It probably makes sense, and kind of, highlight some of the key features of each of them.
Yes, I can do that.
And please, if there are any more burning questions, please feel free to ask, because we're here. No more questions at the moment.
Okay, I'm going to do the summary piece and let's go from there. So I'm going to do,
Oh, someone is asking about the use of breakout rooms with Zoom.
oh, okay.
That
Sorry
just
about
came
that.
in. It just came
Yes,
in.
okay. The breakout rooms are available on all these platforms, which are Zoom, whether it is Zoom, GoToMeeting, or WebEx, and it's not available as it is on other platforms. For example, Google Hangouts. Breakout rooms are can be created. There are some smart teachers who have done some experimentation. They need to create the rooms individually, and they created that, and that's how people have used Zoom, Hangouts breakout rooms, but it is natively supported on all the other WebEx, GoToMeeting, or Zoom. So probably you're all aware of the pricing for Zoom. It is basic plan is free that can be used for unlimited one-on-ones or 40-minute limit in the group meetings. And a pro plan is $14.99, $15. That can include up to 100 participants. But if you want to have a webinar platform, it is an add-on any of the paid subscriptions.
And
So
a
the,
little bit more about the breakout rooms. Do you want to just
yes,
share a little bit about that?
yes, yes. So breakout rooms can be set up in, let me pull that up. So what is a breakout room? So breakout rooms are smaller meeting rooms where teachers can assign students to brainstorm and then come back to the main room. And that's how the breakout rooms are set up. So you can set up a breakout room at the time of setting up the conference or the meet. And that is where a breakout room is assigned. So I'm trying to show here, but unfortunately I couldn't pull it up. So this is a high-level summary as I have seen. I have put together. Microsoft Teams does not offer a breakout room option. Google Meet also don't offer that, but all the others, they all offer breakout rooms. And whiteboard option is available on all, and except Google, all others option polls as well. As I mentioned earlier, Microsoft Teams and Google Hangouts are meant for collaboration. They started as collaboration platform and with later integrated video and audio conferences, whereas the other three platforms started as a video and audio meeting platform, and they don't offer anything like Teams offer or Google Docs offer.
Mhm.
Good thing is all the five platforms offer mobile options for both the smartphones, Android, as well as iPhones, Apple phones. So that's what we have. And I have some resources available here. I have put together a blog post on how to secure Zoom and remote work, how to do that, and some quick start guides for Teams, WebEx, and GoToMeetings.
And Helen here is also asking about what does the ability to collaborate mean?
So collaboration is mainly working together. Basically, you are working with your teammates, working on a document basically, and you are going back and forth. The in the scenario of where you don't have a platform for that, what you do is you compile your document, email it to the other person, they work on that and send it to a third person for review, and that is how it happens. It used to happen before the collaboration platforms came into picture, but now everybody can work on the same document, review it at the same time, and finalize it.
So you can see the changes happening live, and everybody can weigh in on whether it's a
Correct.
PowerPoint slide or an Excel spreadsheet or a Word document. This way, the collaborative nature is much more efficient rather than having to email back and forth, to 6 different people and then get different comments and have to integrate them all separately.
Yes, different comments, and at the same time, people will not be able to keep track of the changes. Sometimes that also happens. So you lose a lot of information in the emailing back and forth scenario. And in the collaboration platform, you have everything kept track of that with different versions. And at the same time, everybody knows what others are working on because everybody has their names attached to the changes which they comment on. Yeah.
Yeah. So Helen is asking if we could go back to that slide for a second where we had the grid that showed the different summary. Yeah. And there was something else. We did record this, right? This has been recorded.
Yes.
So this has been recorded, and we will gladly, share it with everybody who participated, of course.
Yeah.
And those who didn't.
Of course, we'll do that. So any other questions? If you have any other questions, you can contact me. My email will be there in the with the slide deck, which I'm going to send, or the recording you're going to get, and make use of the resources available for Zoom or GoToMeeting or WebEx. There are some beautiful startup quick start guides, and that is very useful.
And we'll share, of course, the slide presentation as well.
Yes.
We're not hiding, nothing secret here.
No, they're all from the vendors. I'm just passing the consolidating it and passing it on to you. That's all.
Super. Well, thank you everybody for your time, and thank you, Dilip, for this great overview.
Thank you.
I really again appreciate all your effort to do this on behalf of small business and nonprofits here in Silicon Valley and New York, and all the folks that came on board to listen. This was a really rich discussion, and we're very lucky to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Wait, sorry, I just noticed a few more quick questions here. Well, we sort of answered this already. Any one tool that is better on security? I know we've talked about this. Someone was asking, if you're using free Zoom, what happens if your meeting runs longer than 40 minutes?
Well,
I think it shuts, doesn't it? It just ends.
It will warn you, and it will give you a warning from 10 minutes onwards. There is a counter, and once it reaches 0, you're going to shut it down. They are going to shut it down.
It'll end.
But you can click on the same link, join back, and that works too. Yeah, another 40 minutes starts.
Well, thanks again, everybody. Have a great, safe week. Be well, be safe, and feel free to reach out to Dilip or myself or Monique at SBO if you have any further questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Stay safe. Yep.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.